That snaps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
we can't ask Rashad questions.
So there's that. Elon Musk is gone. You know, it's tough when your mans leaves you. The last thing, we ain't done a Diddy update in a minute. So here's a Diddy update.
Diddy afternoon update. We are on day 11, and I'm very sorry for the late update, but we finished the direct testimony of the witness, Deontay Nash, the celebrity stylist who is very close with Cassie, and then we started on the cross-examination, which was done by Xavier Donaldson. And his testimony was a lot. It was a lot about the violence that Cassie experienced at the hands of Diddy, and also the violence that Deontay himself experienced at the hands of Diddy, which was shocking, but a lot of what we've already heard before, if that makes sense. So he spoke about the incident.
He said, in other words, Diddy stuff. No Diddy.
Deontay that Cassie also spoke about, where Deontay, Mia, and Cassie were at her LA apartment after going out for a little bit during the day. Maybe there was some day drinking. I'm not certain, but they went back to Cassie's apartment, the three of them. And according to Deontay, they were helping her pack for this Canadian music festival. And, you know, he said that, but he also said Cassie was sleeping on the couch, which Cassie testified as well during her direct. But Diddy shows up at the door. Deontay lets him in. He's irate. And he says something like, you know, I told that B to call me. And that's when he kind of rips Cassie off the couch by her hair and starts beating her. And Deontay said that he jumped on Diddy's back. You know, Diddy threw him off. And then Mia jumped on his back, threw her off. And that's when he started beating Cassie again until her temple hit the side of a bed frame and started gushing blood. Then he said that Diddy got a little nervous. Deontay went to get towels. He said that he was going to call 911, or he started to call 911, but he stopped. He said someone told him to stop, and he doesn't remember who, but he hung up. And then that's when Diddy said that D-Rock should take Cassie to a plastic surgeon. He testified about another time he and Cassie were cooking at her apartment. This is 2013 or 2014. They were in LA. Sorry, I ate something and I feel like it's coming out of my teeth. He said that Diddy showed up at her house. And again, he just said, I want to talk to Cassie. And then he grabbed Cassie and it said by her hair and by her shirt for whatever reason. He was mad at her. I don't know the exact reason, but he grabbed her by the hair and by the shirt. And he said, get the hell out of my house, or get the F out of my house, to Cassie after this argument. And then he did the same thing to Deontay. But Deontay said he kind of popped him in the head a little bit and said, you know, get out of my house, before pushing him out. Now, Deontay said when he did this, Cassie was kind of still in the house, but like by the door. So Deontay said he left the apartment. He goes to the valet to get his car, but he sees Diddy's security there. And again, I don't know what this fight is about.
Is this him? This Deontay? Oh, this is Deontay. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, this is Deontay. So his name is Deontay Nash. You said that man puff over the head. Like, what is you doing? What is wrong with you? I've seen this dude before. BET Awards. Well, that's the carpet he's on right there, BET. Oh wait, this dude. Sorry, I wasn't even sharing the page.
He didn't say what the fight was about. It was just they were cooking, and Diddy showed up at the house angry at Cassie. And again, I'm sorry if that sounds confusing. That's all that we know. So he said he gets down to the valet, and Diddy's security is there, and he said they kind of blocked him. And he said that then Diddy and Cassie came down, and that Cassie was crying, and she got into his car, Deontay's car, and then Diddy comes up and starts berating them, calling them broke asses, and then they drive off. And then Cassie gets a call from Diddy, and he says to pull over. So they do. And then he comes up to her car window, I guess, or, you know, on the passenger side, and he starts making threats to her, you know, saying that he was going to release the sex tapes to her parents' work. He was going to get her parents fired. her brother is a bitch. And literally, I wrote all this down, and that Diddy is the only one who protects her. So they drive to Deontay Nash's house. Cassie is crying. And he actually said that he said to Cassie, who cares? Let him release these tapes. He's on them too. And Cassie said to him, actually, he's not on them. Another man is on them. I'm having sex with someone else. So yeah, that's what's going on. And then he said that Cassie told him that, you know, she didn't want to do it, but she was doing it for Diddy. Now they get to his house, or no, I'm sorry. They're on the way to his house, but then he says it's going to be safer for Cassie just to get a taxi and go somewhere else to a hotel. So he drops her off on Sunset Boulevard. He goes to his house, and he talks about how Diddy shows up at his house and starts looking for Cassie everywhere. And he actually said that Diddy looked in the oven. He's like, I don't know why he did that. But as a side note, he was a very sassy, kind of funny witness. He said things like that. Like, Diddy looked in the oven. I don't know why he did that. But then finally, he said that Diddy took his phone and his keys. And then Cassie called Deontay Nash's phone from the hotel she was at. And it was the La Montrose Hotel. And so, you know, she called, and he answered, and he's like, oh, that's where she is. So let's go there. So they go to La Montrose Hotel. And according to Deontay Nash, the front desk told them where Cassie's room was. And Diddy said, go get her, like, you know, thinking she'll come with him. And he said, give me my phone back. Deontay said this to Diddy. So he gets his phone back, and he goes upstairs. They find Cassie. And I believe, yes, D-Rock was with him at the time. And Cassie jumped when they you know, opened the door or walked in, and they said, you know, Diddy's looking for you. Sorry, Diddy's looking for you. And according to Deontay Nash, she basically said she'd rather jump off the balcony type of thing. He said she went to the balcony and said she was going to go over. So however you want to interpret that. And I guess one of the security guards said, no, we'll take you out of the side. Sorry if you heard my children. And so they, Deontay said, you know, Cassie goes with the security guard. He goes downstairs, tells Diddy that, you know, she must have gone home, didn't see her. So Deontay says that when he leaves, you know, Diddy's all mad or whatever, but he went to a hotel because he didn't feel safe going home that night. So he said he went home the next day and his backpack was stolen. And he had $1,000 cash, you know, an iPad, his ID. And he said that he kept cash for hotels. So, you know, just in case, and in case for Cassie, so they wouldn't have to use their names. He talked about, you know, seeing bruises on Cassie. Definitely in 2016, she was getting ready for the Perfect Match premiere, and he FaceTimed with her, saw the eye bruise or the black eye from the Intercontinental. You know, and there was some talk about her drug use, about her 29th birthday, about her not wanting to do a freak off and him kind of witnessing this. He talked about Diddy, you know, at one point Diddy had threatened him and said, you know, I don't want you going out, because if you go out, she wants to go out too. Talking about Cassie, there was this one time they went to a gay bar with Rita Ora, they actually mentioned. And so he talked about another time on a movie set, you know, Cassie was doing her thing, or not a movie set, I'm sorry, a music video set. And Diddy cornered him outside and threw him up against a car and said, like, I told you, don't go out with her. Because I guess they went out the night before or something like that. So, yes, her birthday, she didn't want to do an FO. He witnessed an escort leaving their hotel room in Vegas one night. They were on the same floor. And he said also during his direct that he doesn't hate Diddy. And he actually texted with him, you know, after he left in 2018. And he stopped styling Diddy and Cassie when Cassie and Diddy broke up. And during the cross, there was kind of a lot going on with that, but I was wondering where it was going. So that's why I guess I'll be brief with some of these notes and we'll finish it tomorrow. So maybe I'll have a little more context, but Xavier Donaldson talked about how he didn't want to have these meetings with the government. And he said, you know, are you sure you had your lawyer with you? Are you sure you're not planning to sue Diddy or make a demand for any money? And he said, no, I've just had my lawyers with me for that meeting and you know, for this case, because I just don't do federal court. And he said, okay, are you sure? He showed him some transcripts saying, are you sure you are not going to sue him? And he said, I'm sure. You know, Deontay Nash also talked about Cassie's music a lot, how Diddy would threaten not to record or to release her songs, how he didn't put her mixtape out for sale. And Donaldson was kind of like, you know a lot about music, but you're a stylist. You're like, how did you know all of this? He basically said that, Diddy gave you your start, didn't he? You were a celebrity stylist because you started off as an intern at Bad Boy, basically. And he said, yeah, you're right. He talked about, I guess, being high during some meetings with the government. I'll get into more tomorrow when we finish because I can tie it all together. But again, he was just a sassy witness. At one point, he was being asked a question about Cassie, and he said, "Oh, like you mean Mrs. Fine? Her last name?" And it was funny. There was some comic relief there amid some of the.
That's like she said. That's funny amid all the crazy parts and stuff like that. Here's his sketch. So yeah, man. That's pretty much it. That's it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, my name is Rashad Milligan. If you are new to the channel, this is the road to 5K subs. At 5K subs, we are getting YouTube red, so no more advertisements on any of the reactions. After 5K subs, we are less than we're around 170 or 180. Yeah, I think maybe 180. 180 away from 5,000. So make sure you guys sub and get us to 5K by the end of June. As always, my name is Rashad Milligan. Please take care of yourself. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. Have a good night. Whenever you're watching this. And as always, nobody else told you today. I care for you. Until next time, see y'all tomorrow.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
Good question.
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.